What's up, my people? What is going on? Yes. We are back. I am RL Melpica. What's up, my people? As I hear some feedback, always got to be some technical stuff going on here. But anyways, everybody out there in the chat, let me know if you're here. If you're watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay to let me know you're here. If you want to interact with the with myself, feel free to do that. Just add your comments either in the live chat, but if you are watching on replay, drop a comment and I will get back to you in a timely fashion for sure. I love the interaction with each one of you guys. So today is I wanted to go live and talk about a few different things, as I wait for some of you guys to jump on, because I wanted to talk healing, I wanted to talk health, and I wanted to talk this retreat that I have coming up. You probably heard me allude to it a few times or maybe in my posts and whatnot, but I wanted to go live, to interact with you guys. If you guys had any questions about it, about anything really, that's kind of what this live is here for each one of you. You guys have been watching my videos as I talk about the importance of health, the importance of how important it is to implement raw foods into your diet, whether you're a 100% cooked food eater to somebody who's, a raw vegan. There's so many tidbits of information that you can learn to help yourself. Just get on the path to healing. If you're dealing with things, certain illnesses, you've been diagnosed with something, it's so empowering to understand that, you have the power to fix those things. Your body is a self-healing machine, a self-healing organism. Once we understand the concept of lifting the burden from our body and enabling it enough energy to actually heal itself, right? All these things that we've never been taught in school, all these things that were not taught by the masses, by society, by the systems that are put in place. Right. So that is what my channel truly focuses on. And going live just enables us to talk about it. Right. So I do plan to do this more often. And, and hopefully it's something that you guys want. I tailor this page for you guys. Ultimately, it's a channel that is for you, is for the people. I'm here just sharing my light, my experiences with each one of you. And this process and this journey for me has been just amazing in so many different ways. I've learned so much. I'm still learning, and I'm still yearning to learn more, and open-minded to understand that, there are millions of different concepts out there, philosophies when it comes to health. And for me to sit here right here and pinpoint and say that there's one that you have to follow, and this is the only one you have to follow, would just be naive and in a way irresponsible for me to do that. And I never do that. That's why I open all feedback. I get a lot of comments from people who don't agree with, some of my philosophies, and that's totally fine. I'm all open for that. I'm open to questions, concerns, feedback, disagreements. My main thing is that it's constructive and respectful. I'm respectful of everybody out there who, is going through their own personal health journey. And look, it's all about perspective. If you've been exposed to a certain type of methodology your entire life, or even recently, and it's had an influence on you, you're going to be attached to that philosophy, and I just, implored everybody to be open-minded to everything, because nothing is absolute, but when we talk about healing, a lot of us look at healing and health, in a very, with tunnel vision. and think it's 100% about one thing and that's it. Or, you believe fully in technology and technology is the key to health, or medicine is the key to health, or exercise is the key to health, or, breathing good air is the key to health. And you focus in on that one thing and you miss a multitude of other things. And I'm going to pull up this slide real quick to kind of jump into that a little bit. And this all correlates with the retreat that we're me, myself, and 5 other amazing guides and healers we put together multiple times a year. This year we're only doing it once, but it all funnels to that, and I'll explain. But okay, so if you look at what we would consider the 19 factors of optimal health here, okay? You got pure air. Unfortunately, in society, depending on where you live, it's hard. That's something that I would call an uncontrollable to an extent, right? You can, you can choose where you want to live. A lot of people think I don't have enough money, I have to live here. Look, if you truly want something, you can make it happen. I mean, I'm a true believer in that. All right. So pure air. I mean, if you're living in the city and you're breathing in all the carbon emissions and things of that nature, yeah, you're probably not going to be getting pure, clean air versus somebody who lives in the country where there's not a lot of that industrial aspect influencing the air that you breathe. But at the same time, we can't control chemtrails and we can't control what's put in the air. And I'm a true believer that there are toxins that are put into the air for whatever reason, right? It's a completely different discussion, but the main thing is to control your controllables and understand that breathing air, pure air, is a big piece of health. I mean, if you think about it, you breathe more than you do anything in life. So that exposure is at a much greater level than anything else you do, more than you eat, more than you exercise, more than anything. Okay. Number 2, pure water. Right? There's levels to, and I talk about this a lot, there's levels to health. And if you're just on the beginning of transitioning to a healthier diet, I would say, look, focus first on drinking water versus, man, I got to make sure I get this specific type of water. Now, look, does it matter? Of course. And if you have the ability to do that, you have the ability to drink distilled or reverse osmosis or Mountain Spring Valley water is really good as well. Then by all means do that, because it does matter. But drinking it in the first place matters more, because we are just a dehydrated society, a dehydrated species at this moment, from generations and generations of horrifically bad eating dehydrating foods that has caused us to need to drink much more water. I've done a few videos on water. Look, if you're eating raw, if you're 100% raw, you've been 100% raw for a long time, you need to drink about a gallon of water a day. If you are not, and you eat a lot of cooked food and you are dehydrated, you're looking at 2 to 3 gallons a day, because you need to dilute a lot of the acids and built up stagnation that's going on inside your body. All right. Now, going through those first things, you're probably wondering, okay, what does that have to do with the retreat? Okay, so look, we're hosting a retreat in November from the 7th through the 10th. Myself, and we also have a Reiki master, Michelle Swiss. We have a yoga instructor slash fitness instructor slash vegan nutritionist that's going to be there, Laura Antonelli. She's amazing. We got mindset and fitness coach Keith Crowder, who I do my podcast, Authenticate Yourself. He's going to be there. And we have metaphysical doctor Joanna Crowder, who's also going to be there. So it's going to be a fantastic retreat that we're putting together. This is our 4th one, and when I tell you each one gets better, I can't say that enough. And we have the testimonials and the reviews to show it. If you go to the website, escapewithin.love. But where this correlates to this is because health is more than just the food that you eat. It's more than the food that you eat. It's about the entirety of it, because from an emotional standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, from a mindset standpoint, it all matters. It all matters. And that's what our retreats, and that's why it's so important to put yourself first. Self-worth is imperative to health. Because your mind and your body, that's what's going to push you when you have to make these tough decisions, when you have to make these conscious choices. And another big part is the community. Being around like-minded people helps tremendously when it comes to making changes to your life and your health, right? So I just wanted to throw that in there, and I'll get a little bit deeper into the retreat a little bit later on. But I wanted to go over these optimal health things to show how it all correlates, right? So cleanliness, internal, external, right? Like all sickness and disease manifest from the inside out. I know that's hard to grasp, right? You might say, well, man, I walk and brush against some poison ivy and then I get a rash. Isn't that from the outside in? No, it's not. Any type of immediate reaction, is being exposed to that toxin, but because of the acidity within your body hit up to a certain point, that's what causes these external reactions. Allergies, same thing. Right? It's not from the outside in. It's not I'm breathing in too much pollen and all of a sudden my eyes are watering. No, it's because it's an instant reaction from your body because the acidity is so high, the toxicity is so high within your body that it can't even absorb any more of that toxin. So when you're influenced by that toxin, your body has an immediate reaction. That's what an allergy is. All right, so cleanliness, both from the internal and external. Sleep, one of the most underrated things when it comes to health, because look, when you're sleeping and you're in that assimilation mode, because we all assimilate, our bodies assimilate from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. That's why most people get sick in the middle of the night, because that's when the body is at rest. Therefore, it can utilize more energy to do the healing. That's why sleep is imperative. If you are tired, sleep. If you don't have time to sleep, make time to sleep. That's how important it is, because if you're not sleeping, you are not healing. All right, temperature maintenance, right? Our body is supposed to be at a certain temperature. And look, if you eat more dehydrating foods, if you eat more cooked hot foods, guess what? Your temperature is going to be higher. When you start implementing more raw into your system, you will watch your temperature drop. Saunas, for instance, a lot of people talk about saunas are great for detoxing. Do they detox? Yes, they do, but you are manipulating your body. That's not where your body wants to be. Your body will expel those toxins when it has the necessary energy to do so and when it feels its best fit. Right? So temperature maintenance is extremely important. Diet, pure wholesome food to which we are biologically adapted. All right, this is a no-brainer. It's like the basis of what my channel is about, eating the species-appropriate diet or implementing the species-appropriate diet heavily into your diet is imperative to health. If you are dealing with something serious, it is imperative that you adopt this into your lifestyle. Imperative, because this lifts the burden while providing the necessary energy, is what I call energy efficiency, right? Getting a bunch of energy while dispelling the least amount, so you have the net gain of energy, so your body is able to heal itself. All right? Exercise and activity. Look, you've got to move. Your lymphatic system is stagnant from years and years and generations of bad food eating habits, right? Moving moves the lymph system, but it also helps with the muscles in the body. Because look, it's this simple. You either move it or you lose it. If you don't move it, you're going to lose it. People blame a lot of things on age, but it's not on age. It's about your habits, about your choices. All right. And exercise and activity is imperative to an optimal health. Sunshine upon our bodies, right? Look, society's trying to tell us that that sun is bad for us, right? They want to do everything in their power to shade us from the sun, block us from the sun. They're not understanding the correlation of some of these diseases or sicknesses that they think are associated with the sun, which once again, everything is from the inside out. Everything. All right? As above, so below, as within, as without, right? Or so without. So it is imperative to get sunshine. I say 20 to 30 minutes a day. Look, sunburns and things of that nature have there's two reasons people get sunburn. Number one, it is the amount of exposure that they've had. It's the tolerance, right? You've been conditioned so much to stay away from the sun, you can't tolerate it anymore. So you go out in the sun for, 20, 30 minutes, and all of a sudden you're burning up because you have not exposed yourself to the sun in so long. Build up slow. Start with 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out. And then build up to where you're to a point where, I could be in the sun for, however long, and it doesn't affect me. That's number one. But number two is also the built up acidity within your body. Once again, as within, as so without. We're so acidic, we're so toxic inside that we can't handle any more sun, just like I talked about with allergies. Understand the sun, that's acid, right? There's only two sides of chemistry in this world. There's acid and then there's alkaline base. And the sun is acid. That's why, we come from a tropical climate. Like humans come from a tropical climate where the sun is abundant and close to us. That's why our diet needs to be more alkaline based to balance out the sun, to balance out the acids in which we are exposed to. But we can't run away from the sun. We need the sun. We need the vitamin D. We need the energy that comes from the sun. The energy is an ultimate energy source, right? Imperative to optimal health. Rest and relaxation. Remember, when you're healing, and all of us are healing in one way or another, whether it's physical, emotional. When we are healing, it needs energy. Your body needs energy. So rest and relaxation are imperative to allow your body to utilize that energy to heal. But also for yourself, to calm yourself. I'm a huge proponent of mindfulness. And that is a big aspect of this as well. Play and recreation. Look, we got to have fun. We got to enjoy our lives. We need things, to look forward to. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and I'm very proud of how we've raised her because of the way she looks at life. And she is a kid. I mean, look, most 7-year-olds are, don't get me wrong, but she's a kid 120%. Like, she's not interested in getting older and doing adult things yet, or even teenage things. Like, she is enjoying and embracing being a child. And we lose that when we start getting older because of the environment and society wants us to get older. Because ultimately, look, everybody, we are a resource to society. That's how they look at us. They want us, they are building us up, putting us through their school system, the majority of us through their school system, so we can graduate and either go to college and pay student loans or get a job and start to earn for them, for society, for the economy. And then we do that for the next, 50 years of our life until we decide to retire. if we even retire, and then die 10 years later, maybe. That is the cycle. And we lose the play and recreation. We lose that inner child. And it's imperative that we don't. You're having relationship issues. Play and recreation can help with that, because you guys need to enjoy yourselves, enjoy life. We get so restrained by everything else, the bills, our job, our kids, responsibilities. And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to have those things, but you got to make time for yourself as well. One of the things we do at the retreat is like we dive deep, specifically this retreat, we are going to be spending a lot of time on rediscovering your inner child. Because rediscovering your inner child and implementing play and recreation in your life will solve a lot of your issues. And a lot of your mental and emotional issues stem from childhood wounds and childhood traumas. They want us to grow up too fast. We need to be children at heart and for the entirety of our lives. I'm a child. I know that. I got no shame in that. I love it. Emotional poise. Being able to handle different things. Understanding energy. Understanding that you're in control of your energy. And by setting up boundaries, you allow yourself the best opportunity environment for you to be the best version of yourself. Because if you don't, and you just allow things to happen around you, you lose control. You can't control the people that are in your life. You can't control what happens, but you have that power. And understanding emotional poise and being able to set up boundaries is huge when it comes to health, because how many of us have anxiety or depressed or stressed out all the damn time because of things that we think we cannot control? And so we lose our temper, or we act out, or things of that nature, because we can't handle the world that's been kind of put in place around us. But you can control it. And the quicker you understand that, the better off you'll be. One thing I haven't mentioned, and it will associate with a lot of these things, is how important meditation is. Because meditation, number one, is great with rest and relaxation because it's very relaxing. But it also gives you the ability to control what goes on in your mind, and gives you the opportunity to tap in to layers of yourself that you didn't even realize existed. All right. Security of life and its means. Understanding, being grateful. That's what I like to say. Being grateful for what you have and not focusing on what you don't have. Right. Look, we live in a world that is dominated by money, dominated by financial and from monetary perspectives. Is it important to have money? Of course. I implore everybody to build a legacy and start building generational wealth, right? So that your kids and their kids and their kids and their kids can kind of break their cycle, specifically for people of color like myself, because that's something that has not been in place for us. And it is incredibly important. But being grateful for what you have and understanding that the energy you put out there is what's ultimately going to come back to you. Pleasant environment. Look, that goes back to the emotional poise and the boundaries. You control the energy that's around you. Look, if you go to the mall, you can't control who's at the mall. But you can control when you go to the mall. You can control if you decide to go to the mall. Right? If big crowds aren't a thing for you, then stay away from big crowds. Right? If city living isn't right for you, then move to the country. If country life isn't right for you, then move to the metropolitan area. But control the things you can control. And believe me, you have control of more than you know. Creative, useful work. Look, when we start, most kids who start going to public school and any type of school system, they get that creativity sucked out of them real quick, because they want you to learn a specific curriculum in a specific way, in a specific box. And creativity, while, comes once in a while in those schools, it's not really something that they put a big onus on. Stay creative, stay you. We're all creative. We all have different creative abilities. Creative doesn't just mean I could draw something. Like, we have creative energy. It's in our sacral chakra. All right. And a lot of times we get blockages there due to society. So we have to make sure that we keep our sacral chakra, not clean per se, but we get rid of the blockages in any way. Okay, meditation is great for that. Any type of chakra healing is great for that. But yes, stay creative. Self-mastery. You are a complex individual. Like, you are extremely complex in so many different ways. So many different ways. Self-mastery is becoming the best version of yourself by understanding yourself, understanding what makes you tick, understanding what upsets you, understanding your energy. Are you a passive individual? Are you an aggressive individual? What type of personality do you have? Astrologically. Because look, astrology is the blueprint of you, understanding who you are. Understanding your sun, your moon, your rising sign, understanding the houses, understanding the planets that rule. Understanding all of that will tell you so much about yourself. So then you could start healing yourself. Then you could start tapping into some of the things that hold you back. Belonging, right? This is where power comes into play, because society divides us. Society separates us. It makes us look at each other as different, lesser, or better through hundreds of different means and all the systems that are put in place. Right? We've seen it. We've seen what happened with the pandemic, how that divided. We see what happens politically. It's all set up to separate you from nature and the world. But this world is yours, and we are all connected. That means my worth is no different than your worth. That means that this world, to me, like, it's just as much your world as it is mine. While so many powers in place want to act like things are ours and not others, like land, like we're supposed to be entitled because we are American. Like, our country is better than Canada or Nigeria or Thailand. It's not. Be you, be in your own space, and understand everything that we do influences everything that happens around us. Motivation. Right. Motivation, I'm more of an inspiration type of individual, because motivation is something that gets you ready for the moment. But I look at it more like inspiration. What inspires you? What passions do you have? Tap into those. Don't ever lose that. Ever. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Do not lose your passion and your inspiration. The world is built to make you do that. Like, think about it. When you grow up, and this isn't everybody, but I know I'm speaking to a lot of you out there. When you grow up and, they put this responsibility on you that, once you become an adult, you have to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. And you may have these ideas that don't fit in line or don't align with the society's way, right? Because it doesn't. It isn't working for a corporation. It isn't getting a 401k. It isn't paying tax, paying all of your taxes, through W-2 means, right? Maybe you want to do something creative. Maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe you have ideas that go outside the box. And that is not something that is promoted. And what I'm telling you is to stay inspired to be you. And it will work out. It might take time. It might not happen on your timeline. But if you put that energy into it, it will manifest itself in the way that it's supposed to. Expression of the natural instincts. I'm big on this because I feel like we've become a society that just wants to manipulate everything. Right? We want to take birth control pills to manipulate our body's hormones. We want to take pills to manipulate the way our body creates certain hormones. We want to manipulate by causing things to happen within our body that our body is not ready to do. That is not expression of natural instinct. Like, we eat foods that are not our natural instinct. We don't naturally kill animals to eat. That's not a natural thing, or else we would be built with the tools to do that. So figure out who you are and express yourself. And indulgence of the aesthetic senses, right? Our senses are built for a reason, and we need to utilize them for those reasons. The reason, like the easiest, when people ask me, well, how do you know we're frugivores? How do you know we're supposed to be eating fruit? Well, I mean, look at fruit compared to every other food option on the planet. They're colorful. What are we attracted to from a visual standpoint? Colors, right? They taste sweet. What are we attracted to eating? Things that are sweet, right? They grow on trees and in the ground, things that we're able to grab with our hands, right? Like, that's utilizing our senses. So, like, we don't have a massive strength of smell, right? I mean, it's, look, indulgence of our aesthetic sense, understanding who you are once again. So those are just 19 different factors that when we're talking about health. A couple things that, when we're talking about pure air and things like, I didn't even throw in electricity, right? There's electricity around us all the time. There's a book called The Invisible Rainbow. You should definitely read it because it really dives deep into how electricity actually influences us and is unhealthy for us, ultimately. And we're around it all the time. Look, I'm on a computer streaming right now. That's electricity. Control what you can control. Like, I don't have Wi-Fi in my house. We are wired in. Less exposure to electromagnetic frequency. Understanding those things before you get solar panels. Learn about dirty electricity and how that affects. Because remember, our bodies are majority water, fluid, liquid. And too much magnetic frequencies, too much electricity slowly cooks us. Slowly. Now, I'm not saying it cooks us immediately, but it doesn't matter what temperature something's at. If it's exposed to it for a long enough period of time, guess what happens? And if we look at things on two sides of chemistry, is that the acid side or the alkaline side, the base side? That is the acid side. And acids destroy and acids are destructive. So health isn't just about your diet. The reason we are in this position right now as a species is mostly because of our diet. There's other factors as well, but it's mostly because of generations and generations of bad eating. But the mind aspect, the mental aspect, the conditioning aspect that plagues us all because of what we've been exposed to and the systems that have been put in place that have indoctrinated us when it comes to health. When you look at all of that in its totality, it makes you realize that there's more to it. We have to be mentally sharp. That's why I always implore meditation, mindfulness, all those things I just talked about, because it all matters. Now, when I'm talking about this retreat, right, and resetting, reconnecting, realigning, the focus of our retreats is to help you rediscover who you truly are, because society has disconnected you from your true self. That is a 100% fact. It's a given. And I know some of you out there are struggling with things. The retreat is like the perfect getaway for that, right? It's not at some super fancy place that you're, like fucking, what's that show? The White Lotus. It ain't the White Lotus. Here's what we do. We get a house. In fact, this particular retreat is going to take place at Murrells Inlet in South Carolina on the beach, on the Atlantic Ocean. Beautiful beach house. We all come together and we spend the weekend together. Like-minded individuals. We all have different perspectives, an array of knowledge, and we all have mindful practices that we share and that we do together and we talk about. And we confide in each other. It's such a safe space. It gives you the ability to reset, reconnect, and realign with who you truly are. Most of you watch my channel for dietary advice or just to follow my journey and what I do from a coaching perspective and my philosophies. Nothing is more important on your journey to health than to reconnect and realign with who you truly are. Because that gives you the inspiration. That gives you the empowerment to know that you can make any change you need to make and not have to worry about the addictions of eating too much cooked food or eating meat, or having to worry about the dealing with society and dealing with being around people who are not, that don't have your best interest in mind. Because I know a lot of us deal with it. Yeah, I want to eat well, but then I go around these people and there's all this stuff I have to deal with. Or I'm trying to stay away from drama, but every time I get around these people, it's drama, right? That's where reconnecting and realigning comes into place. Learning these tools, these techniques, knowing the power that you truly have and understanding and being able to walk away and say, wow, I do have power. Wow, I am a pretty cool person. I am a great person. People should love me. Look, some of you out there are dealing with relationship issues, right? That's something that's extremely prevalent in today's society. The divorce rate is 50%. Right? That means you have a 50% chance that it's not going to work out. And even the ones that do work out, how many of them are happy? Why? Because they get disconnected from who they are. Because they're trying to overcompensate for somebody else. I say this all the time, and it'll be a big part of the book that I'm releasing coming soon, called Detox Yourself. The secret to creating a healthy life. I think I butchered that. It's actually the secret to freeing your mind and creating a healthy life. Sorry about that. But yeah, if you're with somebody who doesn't have the same values and isn't on the same path as you, or is holding you back from your growth, then you have to make that conscious choice. Is being with this person for the betterment of me or the detriment of me? And that's not a selfish question. This is your life. And these are the tough questions you have to ask. And this is what we all come together, and we all have our different qualms and issues and whatever it is, ailments. And we come together in a safe space and we dissect them and we put everything on the table. We do that shadow work together. And we leave with a new sense of direction. Now, look, it's not like you come here, it's a 4-day, 3-night retreat. It's not like you leave the retreat and all of your problems are gone. No, it's about, like I said, resetting, reconnecting, realigning. So when you go back to your life, you look at things in a completely different perspective. Completely different. You see the world from different eyes. And then you can make those conscious choices. Is this for the betterment of me or detriment of me? Because that's a question you should ask yourself with every single thing that you do. And if the detriment is outweighing the benefit, guess what? You're probably not living a happy life. It's as simple as that. So some details on the retreat. All right. So Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. All right. Like I said, we got a huge beach house. We're all going to be together. Laura's going to be doing all the cooking. She's a vegan nutritionist. You're going to have plenty of raw food, but also some cooked food for everybody that's in transition. So don't feel like you're left out or anything like that. And she is ridiculous in the kitchen, right? And even some of her raw things that not some of them, the raw stuff that she puts together is so creative. It's so good. And you have plenty of fruit there, plenty of hydration. So from a food standpoint, look, it's well worth it for sure. I didn't even mention Jasmine, the medium, is there. I didn't even talk about her. She is the rock star of these retreats. She is a professional psychic medium who is better than anybody I've ever met. When I tell you her ability to connect to spirit is ridiculous. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it with myself. So her intuitive guidance is going to be there as well. And believe me, that helps tremendously. We have just so many different things in store. The fitness aspect we do, and just diving into Joanna, the metaphysical metaphysical doctor, has some great things set up for tapping into our inner child that are going to do give tremendous advantages with dealing with childhood traumas and being able to truly, reset and reconnect. And I call her the golden tones of Michelle Swiss. She leads all the meditations. She does Reiki. And she's just amazing in her own sense. Keith with the mindset stuff. If you watch the podcast, you know where he's coming from. We've had so many amazing conversations with guests, and really diving into some of the issues and being able to attack it from a mindset perspective. And Keith is just the guru of that. And me, I'm going to be doing a lymphatic massage demonstration to get you to be able to get your lymphatic system moving, also while putting together a presentation and game on how to implement the natural diet into your life. We're going to work on the senses. It's going to be really fun. But yeah, overall, man, we just have a great time. We learn so much. We cry, we laugh. It's just such a reset. It's just what people need. And if you look at the testimonials of people who have come, it's literally magic and life-changing. Magic has happened for people after they come to our retreats. So how do you go to the retreat? Well, there's a couple different ways. If you have more questions about it, you want more info, you can obviously reach out to me through the chat or through my YouTube channel. You can also email me, rlmelpica@theeatcoach.com, or you can go to our website, escapewithin.love. All right. You could set up a discovery call. That discovery call will go over everything. Right. Or look, if you feel it within you, you can book. We have booking. We have the website set up, escapewithin.love, for our next retreat. All the rooms are there for you. We have some different options for you. We have payment plans available as well. The rooms are going to range anywhere from, I believe it's $1,900 to, I shouldn't say rooms, it's admission because it's all inclusive. $1,900 to $2,500, and if you're bringing somebody else, you get a slight discount as well. All inclusive. That means all your meals are taken care of, all the activities, all the seminars, everything that we put together is included. The only thing you have to cover is obviously the entry and your flight. That's it. Right? And, if you don't have to fly and you could drive, that's even, that obviously helps you as well. So, and we can help you logistically as well. If you need help, just let us know. But I hope that this sheds some light on what we're doing and what we're trying to build, because it's about community. It's about being around like-minded people. We know it's hard to transition to a healthier diet, a healthier lifestyle, a more mindful life. It's difficult when everything around you promotes the opposite. So being around like-minded people helps tremendously. Look, I hope you guys enjoyed this live. Let me know. And if you're watching on the replay, like I said, put hashtag replay. And look, we'll continue to do this. I'll continue to go live. I wanted to start doing some live Q&As, but I need you guys to let me know if that's something that you want to do, you know? So I'll come on and be prepared, and you guys can give me questions. Look, if you're dealing with any type of diagnosis or sickness, I can help you with that. If you're looking for transition tips to implement more healthy things, I can definitely help you with that. If you just want some dietary advice, or if you have questions or concerns about eating more raw foods, I can definitely help you with that. So, look, I appreciate everything, and I'll see you guys next time, all right? Peace, love, and light, everybody.